Well, it was Frederick Douglass who famously said, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. That phrase could sum up our next guest's book here.
And Wilbert Skipper, Jr., the author of a new book, Life's Constant Struggles to Success. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You and I talked earlier. Tell us, sum up what this is all about.
Well, Life's Constant Struggles to Success is a self-empowerment book that I believe will help people from all walks of life and all over the world. I talk about my struggle while growing up in Southeast Washington, D.C. As a young kid, having to make some serious decisions as to what I was going to do to make it out of what we call the so-called hood. I grew up in an area that was drug-stricken. There was a lot of naysayers. There were a lot of people that just didn't want to see myself and others make it out of that environment. And so what I decided to do early on was to make a conscious decision at the age of 10 years old, and that decision that I made changed my life. I decided that I was going to use the basketball as my vehicle to make it out of that environment, and I'm happy to be able to say that I was able to make it out, and now I'm going back to those same neighborhoods to empower those kids to have stories just like mine.
Now, you talked a little bit about these distractions. What kind of distractions were you talking about?
Well, in particular, I'm talking about the naysayers, the dream stealers, and I talked about that in the book. People that just didn't want to see me make it. You know, I had to deal with negativity every day. And as a young kid, I had to determine for myself what methods or what tools I could use to be able to distract that. So I came up with a two-word method. So whenever I was faced with negativity, probably a year after 10 years old, I distracted the negativity and then simultaneously dismissed it. And it allowed me to get through that. But it was a lot of challenges in my life. You know, people just didn't want to see me make it. People telling me that I couldn't make it.
Including some relatives.
Including family members as well. And actually in chapter 1, which is titled Family, and I talk about the fact that you should not be afraid to sail in the success waters without family, because sometimes family can be your biggest distraction. But you have to be able to endure and weather those storms and just continue to move forward, and that's what I was able to do.
So this isn't just about your story. It's your story to help others move on, correct?
Absolutely. It's a great self-help book. Of course, I talk about my story in the book, but I believe Life Constant Struggles to Success is a part of everybody's life. I believe in most cases, people have had struggles and crises, things they had to deal with, and depending on how you deal with that will determine the outcome. So I would encourage everybody to get a copy of the book. It's a good read. It's a short read, but it's very empowering. And my goal at this point is to take this journey throughout the metropolitan area as well as the United States and empower, inspire, and motivate people from all walks of life and all over the world.
We have about 30 seconds left. Now, just the book itself is an example of achieving a dream here, is it not?
Absolutely, because it's been a long battle. It's been 5 years. My lovely wife, Sharon, has been very instrumental in helping me push to get this book out. Now that it's out now, I want to just keep going and do as much as I can to empower and inspire people.
And these are lessons also. You played basketball. You beat my team, Rutgers, back in '78,
Yes,
right?
we were talking about that earlier. I played for George Washington University from 1978 to 1980 with Mike Bray, who's the head coach of Notre Dame. And yes, we did beat Rutgers that year, and I had a great game. I scored 27 points. I wish you could have attended that game.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Okay. Well, there'll be a book signing for this book. Again, the title, Life's Constant Struggles to Success, coming up next month. The event will be held Tuesday, May 20th from 7 to 9:30 p.m. at Everlasting Life Restaurant in Capitol Hills. Also, you can get this book on Amazon.com.
And still to come here.